Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog! Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wakeangel2K1, because between you and me, they're way past cool.
Hello my friends, this is Wakeangel2K1 coming at you with a personal figure for myself. It is the Bunnie Rabbot figure that I've been showing you guys, except in the style that as much as possible replicates the original Saturday morning look. And I'm talking like Season 1, when everything was all earth-tony. You can tell because in the original cartoon, Bunnie was many more shades of brown, and her robot limbs were kind of huge. In the comic book, her colors were changed to yellow. I guess that actually fit in more with the video game's aesthetic to give the characters bright primary colors. And also, well, I guess she did start out with the really thick bunny limbs, but they would eventually turn into the svelte cybernetic limbs later on. But first, before we get into making the figure, I just need to show this off. It is the Princess Sally minifigure made for Patreon supporter Jim Foots. Foots spelled with a Z. Yeah, he wanted a little minifigure of Princess Sally, and I even went and made a whole new 3D model base for it. So, you know, there we go. Okay, now let's get into making Bunnie herself. The first thing I did was ask Corey Sonic Fan to make me a 3D model of Bunnie's head. This is a little bit more challenging than Sally because Bunnie's head has never actually been rendered in 3D in any way. At least not this version of Bunnie. But still, Corey is an excellent 3D modeler, and he did make this. This is just a test print that I made to make sure the model would print properly, and I didn't attach the ears right, but like I said, test print. This isn't actually used in the main project. The base figure itself was a Loyal Subjects action vinyl of Ellen Ripley. For no specific reason, although she does have thicker legs that did kind of lead me towards her, but most of the reason why I picked this one is because I found it for clearance at GameStop for only $1.97, so, you know, nice cheap base figure so I don't have to spend a lot on a personal project. Here is the properly printed Bunnie head standing next to it. The ears were, of course, a separate piece because, you know, like when the 3D printer has to make such long, skinny objects, it's going to slump and there's going to be strings between them, and nah, I didn't want to deal with that. Now, Ellen dismantles fairly simply, although interestingly enough is the way her shoulders work. With the Bob's Burgers figures, the shoulders were pin discs, but on this one, it's a double ball joint. There's a ball in the chest, which comes out in the stem, to a second ball, which is in the arm. This does afford a pretty good range of movement, and the figure still has some pretty posable shoulders. It's just interesting that the Loyal Subjects actually uses different construction techniques for their figures. I'm thinking maybe it's an age thing, like maybe this Ellen Ripley figure is older, and they switch from ball joints to pin discs later on. I'm not sure. Now, I think when I make this again, because I do have a commissioner who wants me to make a proper one, I'm going to 3D print her feet. I'm going to make myself some models in Tinkercad and make them the right size, because I tried hand sculpting them, as you can see here, sculpted around the figure's original feet, so that I can still make use of that ball joint, and I had a hard time with the symmetry. Yeah, like, that's always the weakness. Hand sculpting is always going to leave a weakness in symmetry. So yeah, next time, I'm going to try and make a model for this. The arms by their nature are asymmetrical, and only the left one was roboticized. And this is where the appearance from the original cartoon kicks in, because I'm not sure if a lot of people noticed this, but the original roboticized Bunnie limb only has 3 fingers. Yeah, kind of like a Ninja Turtle hand. It's a little bit awkward at first, because we're so used to seeing Bunnie having 4 or 5 fingers, depending on what era she's drawn in the comic. But yeah, like if you go way back to the original cartoon, there were only 3 on that hand. Okay, so the body did have a little bit of resculpting too. Mostly I had to scrape off the bullet bandolier and any of the clothing elements from the Ellen Ripley model, and then replace it all with Bunnie's... you know what? It's a bunny costume. You know, like those sexy Playboy bunny things? That's what she's wearing. Huh. That's... I always kind of thought of it like a leotard thing, but it's backless. It's a bunny costume. It's a Bunnie Rabbot wears a Playboy bunny costume. How did I not notice this before? That is funny. Also, in the original cartoon, she very clearly still had, like, the unitard below her waist as well, and you could see her little bunny tail coming out the back. In the comic book appearance, pretty much everything below her waist was covered in metal. So this would lead to Sonic fans like myself debating for hours as to whether Bunnie actually still has her, you know, her girl stuff down there. So I decided to do a quick partial assembly to show off what's left of Bunnie's organic nature, and this is what would have been left of her if she had to go with the amputation route, had she, you know, in the Sonic Girls special, where she was presented with the roboticization toxicity that would have that led her to no longer be able to live with her partially roboticized body. So as we all know, she went with replacing her robotics with cybernetics, so that, you know, cybernetics aren't rejected by the body the way that roboticized limbs apparently are. But yeah, this would have been the amputation route. So I guess all that's left is to quickly show off the arms and legs repainted. I did the whole thing where I painted 2 different shades of gray. A darker gray for the hand and the bicep part of the arm and most of the legs, with a lighter gray for the forearm and the toes, and then everything goes over it in silver. Unfortunately, the camera can't pick up the subtle differences very good, but trust me, in person you can distinctly tell the 2 different shades of silver. So with that all said and done, this is the completed Bunnie Rabbot. And yes, like I said, this is the second part of an action figure line that I wish existed when I was 8 years old. And come hell or high water, I will have the Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog cast immortalized as action figures. Even if I'm the only one that gets to have them, and if anybody else wants them, I'll have to make them by hand. But still, seriously, Sega, at the very least, Ken Penders doesn't have the original cast of the cartoon under his stupid lawsuit. Like, you are still totally free to make action figures of the original Saturday morning cartoon should you feel so inclined. And the nostalgia market is huge nowadays. I can guarantee that if Sega releases merchandise, especially action figures, of the original cartoon cast, and even the other cartoons, such as the Adventures cartoon or the Underground cartoon, there will be an audience for them. So, you know, like this video if you think that Sega should actually make SatAM action figures, and, I don't know, pester Sega so that they can actually do some kind of merchandise for them. But, yeah, that's all stuff for the fandom to worry about in the future. So, this is Wakeangel2K1, signing off.